Massachusetts bill. Probably the craziest gas bill we've seen yet. $0 in usage generated a $587 bill. Here's a vacant unit in a rental property, no usage at all. And then it says current charges for gas, supply 0, maintenance and infrastructure investment, cost of Eversource to deliver gas. Okay, so this is gas and not electric. Maintenance and infrastructure investment, by the way, $505.95. And then public benefits, $81.99. Cost to support energy programs authorized by the state. This charge is dependent on usage. $0 in usage generates an $82 fee for public benefits. And $506 almost for maintenance and infrastructure. Like, actually insanity. What is happening in Massachusetts? What the fuck? How is gas that expensive? Your gas bill is like $10 a month? Well, when I asked my uncle how much he pays, because like I have family both like in Mass and New Hampshire, so I can ask them for like the cost of things. When I asked an uncle of mine how much he pays for his like delivery for gas, he was like, well, I get propane, and in the winter it goes up because you have different prices depending on the summer and the winter. And he said he was paying around $1,600 per fill for like a 500-gallon tank. And I was like, that sounds really expensive. Propane and propane accessories. Propane is super expensive. Yeah, it's crazy. Does he fill it yearly? He does the smart thing, and he will prepay for fills in the summer when the price is cheaper. So like he was telling me how much it would cost if he were to fill in winter, but he purposefully will, like, in the summer when the prices are lower, he'll buy like 3 or 4 fills, and then he'll be able to use that in the winter instead of paying the winter price. A fun tip that propane companies don't want you to know.
On Thursday, Republican lawmakers in Richmond criticized Democratic colleagues in the state Senate for prioritizing redistricting to gain more seats in Congress instead of matters they believe hit closer to home for average Virginians.
Instead of us focusing on affordability, instead of us focusing on making sure Virginians keep money in their pocket, the first bill that's going to the governor's desk, the first bill the governor's going to sign, is going to be one of a partisan gerrymander.
In response, Democratic Senate Leader Scott Surville blamed cost of living issues on the White House.
We want to talk about affordability. Let's talk about tariffs. Because right now, Congress hasn't done a damn thing to stand up to what's going on across the river on tariffs.
Right now, Virginia has a $2.7 billion surplus. So 7 News is asking Democratic leadership why propose new taxes and where would that money go?
Well, I mean, much like we're seeing in New York, I'm sure that surplus isn't going to last very long. How long did it take Tim Walz to blow through Minnesota's surplus? You know, once commies get control of the cash flow, that surplus turns into a deficit real fucking quick. Less than 2 years. I hate when my browser does this.
No answers yet, but I was able to find some spending proposals circulating in the Capitol. Those ideas range from raising teacher pay, which always gets a lot of support, to lifting the cap on how much tax money cities and counties can give, not loan, give to local government employees so they can buy a house. Delegate Dan Helmer from Fairfax County
my
says
taxes are already used for tons of shit I don't want them to be used for. If I heard politicians being like, yeah, we're gonna actually put into law that we can use your taxes to buy ourselves homes, I'd be like, excuse fucking me? Excuse fucking me? Suddenly I am French and know how to build guillotines. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? What the fuck are we doing here? Teacher pay should be tied to performance? 1,000%. 1,000%. I am completely against raising teacher pay after seeing how not only horrible teachers are for the past like decade, but also how much teachers end up giving to democratic causes through their pay. Like we've gone through multiple articles and multiple people digging into teachers unions, dumping tons of money into democratic candidates. And it's like that. No.
Housing grants are important for recruiting good people.
In our community, my constituents, those who work for government, too often, they can afford to live in our community.
For the second day in a row, I've been asking for comment from Democratic leaders in the House and Senate, along with Governor Abigail Spanberger, about their thoughts on these tax proposals. We have not received a response, but we will keep on trying. Reporting in Arlington, Nick Minox, 7 News.
Oh, that's a fun name, Nick Minox. I bet he has fun saying his name all the time. Why pay teachers more for failure? That's a great question. Next question. Caroline V, 73, swore by a life of prayer and celibacy until a sexual awakening at 57 turned her life around.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
I became an escort in 2017, V told podcast hosts Billy and Lauren on Tea at 4. When I became a born-again Christian and we couldn't have sex, it was like, well, I didn't enjoy it in my younger years anyway, so it's not going to be a loss. So that's how I managed to go through the 40 years, partly, obviously, because it wasn't allowed in the church, but also because I didn't have any interest. It was only when V joined her first dating site that she began to receive attention from men who found her sexy. A sexy 57-year-old granny buddy. I even started getting messages from 18-year-olds who were keen to meet up with me.
What?
Being young enough to be my son is one thing. Being young enough to be my grandson is just wrong on so many levels. V continued, despite later admitting that she had a 20-year-old client just last week. Brother. I know it's legal, but the thought is still grody. Robbing the nursing home. I just like, what goes through the brains of like an 18 or 20-year-old guy that's like, yeah, I want to stick my dick in this grandma. Like, what? What the fuck? A lot of 18-year-olds following Benjamin Franklin's advice on choosing a mistress. Is the blowjob better if she removes her dentures? I imagine it must be, right? After meeting someone through a dating site who introduced her to the idea of swinging, V was told that she'd be good at and would be paid for escorting. How is she falling for the same lines that literal 18-year-old women do? What is happening? I seriously needed money because my mortgage companies, plural, were trying to repossess me because I couldn't afford it. After this, V looked into phone sex after watching a program about how a woman made enough money to renovate her house through the side hustle. She then met with a photographer who offered to film her solo work for a mature website. We made a video, and that was the very first thing I did, V said. Man. V, now known as the Busty Granny, earns thousands every month and has appeared on popular UK TV shows, including Jeremy Kyle and Filthy Rich. Hey, so that's kind of weird. That's kind of weird that she's being invited to talk shows for being an escort. Despite her jump into the adult world, V said she doesn't feel that sites such as OnlyFans are worth her time. Why? I'm registered, but I've never done anything on it. It's all about content. You've literally got to upload content 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Day and night, that's all you do. Good luck to them if that's what they want to do, but I would find that incredibly boring. V said her job doesn't entirely revolve around sex and that it's just an added bonus at the end. I've got a man that would like me to go on holiday with him. It's not purely sex, it's so much more. She's literally a sugar baby as a grandma. That's crazy. And she's also admitting to being lazier than an OnlyFans person. She's like, yeah, you know, I need money, but I don't want to post content all the time. She must have that grippy if the hag lovers are lining up. This is a whole new universe of hag love, bro. 40 years celibate. This is what happens when you stay a virgin for too long, man. You just go hog wild. MILF Hunter, no, this is fossil hunting. Oh my god, Granny! Grandma! She does have enormous fucking tits, though. That's probably, like, close to the same size as my mom. V now describes herself as the older version of Bonnie Blue and maintains that she refuses to be trolled. Just because I'm now 73 doesn't mean I should stop having sex or showing off my body, she said. I'm proud of my achievements. If people are bothered, that's their problem. I mean, she do have some massive honkers. Right, like she's in good shape for 73, I will say. But that doesn't mean you gotta be like an escort grandma. That's kind of wild. It can't really ruin her future. I mean, you know, I guess that's also true. She's at the end of the line. Dear boss, let's close the daycare Friday so staff can attend a protest, parents can miss work and maybe lose income. But they'll understand because I'm going to assume they share my politics. And whatever, anyone who doesn't agree is a fascist anyway. So this is a fucking post here. And it's an email, I guess. Hey, redacted. I totally understand that this is a long shot and would perhaps inconvenience some parents, but I thought it would be really incredible if Redacted considered participating in the national shutdown this Friday to show solidarity with the state of Minnesota and reject the heinous actions of ICE. Personally, I would love to participate in the protest that is planned for that day. I would like to show up for the people in my community, which includes many people I work with who are likely to be more closely affected by the current administration than I am, and use the privilege that I have as a white woman to stand up and protect my neighbors in any way that I can. Hello, fellow white woman. I also understand that without the support of the whole center, it would be detrimental to the team and to the kids for those of us interested in participating in the protest to leave classrooms understaffed. That's why I thought it would be amazing if Redacted would consider closing that day, so those of us who are able can take the opportunity to stand up for our communities and protest against the horrific events that have occurred in the last few weeks. I think this is incredibly unreasonable. Why would you think that, like, your political issue here is worth shutting down the entire work and inconveniencing tons of parents and children? Like, this is kind of crazy. She should give up her job for someone else and she has so much privilege. That's true. That's true. People citing their own supposed privilege is so tacky. It really gives that, like, smug, I am the white savior aura, and it just feels grody, man. Including, but not limited to, the murders of Keith Porter, Renee Good, and Alex Pretti. I also thought it would be amazing to bring awareness to the redacted community and show solidarity for many of our own staff who have already been affected by ICE's despicable behavior. I've included a couple links with more info. Thanks, Redacted. I like how this person with, like, zero self-awareness sent this to their boss like their view of things is the default correct view of things. Like, it didn't even enter their brain that, like, any of their coworkers or even their boss would disagree with their political position. Why would anyone disagree? You're the main character, imagine. I don't understand the people that think they are the main character. Like, even in the, like, worst depths of my anxiety, when I was like, I don't want to leave my house because, like, people might talk to me and acknowledge my existence. What if, like, you know, someone starts recording me because I have a panic attack, you know? Like, nobody's gonna be really paying attention to me, and logically I understood that. But that's why, like, the anxiety brain takes over and, like, makes you, like, worried of things that are astronomically not going to happen. But this isn't even, like, anxiety brain. Like, I don't know what this woman's doing. Like, literal main character syndrome. 100% a copy-pasted activist statement. Also, yeah, probably. Because we have seen before people posting, like, boilerplate emails for you to, like, edit and send to your bosses. Actually crazy. I'm glad you felt safe to ask this question. I plan to send something out to all staff tomorrow, letting them know about our decision on this. Redacted will be open on Friday since we're a small business and parents are depending on us to care for their littles. I really hate when people refer to little kids as just littles. Like, it's like a weird, it makes my skin crawl thing. And I've only started seeing it in the past couple of years, and I've only seen it from people on the left. I'm hoping that since staff can't be a part of this, there are other ways for them to show support. I fully respect you asking about this and for your thoughtful email. God damn. This is a picture of, like, Brian Stetler saying, what we're seeing in Minneapolis is how powerful visuals tied to real people can shift public understanding almost instantly. And all of the public understanding of all 4 of these incidents shown on screen was wrong. There's one group of people putting out accurate information, being like, well, in some of these cases, we can't tell what happened, like Alex Pretti. And there's some other people who are, like, living in a complete different reality, saying that Renee Good did nothing wrong, crying about that old man being taken out of the house even though he was harboring 2 child rapists, saying that that 5-year-old got arrested when in fact ICE had to watch that 5-year-old when his father abandoned him and his mother refused to take him. We are living in 2 different realities. And it's like, how do you ever start bridging that gap when you have people who just refuse to believe in what's actually happening? And whenever you talk about what's actually happening, you get demonized for it. How can we have any kind of conversation? You can't, you don't, which is like, what are you supposed to do? Capitulate and stop talking about it so that the lying narrative is the only one that exists? Like, what can be done? When cognitive dissonance occurs, you can close the gap by changing your view or by changing reality. That's the wrong answer, but so many people pick that one. Well, it's like, it makes me wonder, like, right, you're never gonna reach the people who keep lying about this, But the people who are lying about it are also the people who attack you for pointing out what's actually happened in each of these cases. And it seems that telling the truth isn't an actual defense anymore. So what are you supposed to do? Makes me sad. Alex Pretti is an awful but lawful, as you've heard. It's described by angry cops. A logically sound take, in your opinion? I have the same exact opinion. It's awful, but it looks like, from all of the information we have, that it would be a lawful shoot. I've heard that... I haven't seen the tweets. Or rather, I haven't saved the tweets. But I've seen some tweets saying that several of the Border Patrol officers who were trying to detain Pretti did have body cams on. And so hopefully we can get that body cam footage eventually. And hopefully after the investigation, we'll see. We'll see what they say. 1996 magazine ad that says, they say in 30 years, a burger and fries could cost $16, a vacation $12,500, and a basic car $65,000. No problem. You'll eat in, you won't drive, and you won't go anywhere. And I immediately thought, damn, how fucking long has the, like, you will own nothing and you will be happy messaging been around? How long has, like, this kind of rhetoric been pumped into mainstream consciousness? What is this advertisement advertising? That's a great question. 1996 ad, actually from 1994-95 per sources, is for TIAA CREF, promoting their retirement planning and investment services for educators. It highlights potential inflation to encourage saving for the future. Snopes confirms it's authentic. Just so you know, it goes further than just the left's continuous lying in the US. It caused the media in Europe, and you assume across the world, to repeat their lies and cause the politically unaware to hate the current US on an international level. So if you're ever wondering why the world hates the US, it's because of the left selling them continuous lies. Well, I feel like it's a little bit of continuous lies and then a little bit of we hate America being world police, but still give us tons of money, America. You know? Probably a little bit column A, a little bit column B. U.S. Senator printed off an AI photo of a headless ICE agent to shooting Alex Pretti and entered it as evidence on the floor of Congress. And there have been some people unironically trying to defend this picture, being like, actually that picture did happen. It just went through an AI to make it more clear. And it somehow removed the agent's head. You know, the picture is still quite different from the AI one. I just think that, like, if you are a sitting member of Congress and you try to use AI to, like, make an example out of something you're talking about in this regard, and you're not talking about specifically AI, you should probably recuse yourself. Because you've pointed out that you are not intelligent enough to be part of any kind of the conversations for the direction that our country is going in. Scroll down. Yeah, they have some other, please use the real photo. This is definitely real. I love the invisible ICE agents. I love it when they get wet and you can see their abs through their armor. Stephen Colbert is now suggesting that it's an insult to Nazis to compare ICE agents to them because the Nazis were better. I beg your finest fucking cheddar pardon.
Bavino went on complaining.
Look, Dana, they're trying to portray Border Patrol agents and ICE agents as Gestapo, Nazi, and many other words.
Yes, do not compare ICE or Border Patrol agents to the Nazis. That's an unfair comparison. The Nazis were willing to show their faces.
That is a wild thing to say, man. They're like, all right, now that we've gotten everyone riled up and believing that their opponents are actually the Gestapo, their politically othered opponents are actually literally Hitler's soldiers. Now we have to escalate things beyond that. Now they're not just Nazis. They're actually worse than the Nazis, which means you need to do worse things to them than you would if they were just simply a Nazi. Sonic Extreme, thank you. Left towards meme AI art. You can't do that. That's wrong. Left towards whatever this is supposed to be. No, that's all right, actually. Imagine. He's having a Boogie 2988 moment. He's doing that. At least Nazis and rapists believe in something. What the fuck? Boogie said that? What the fuck? We have Kathy Griffin once again.
Those of you that are awake, that see what's going on, what do you think the solution is? I think the murder of Renee Good, the murder of Alex Pretti, putting children on planes and taking them to detention centers, which are really concentration camps. Call it what it is. They're concentration camps in the United States of America in 2026. So take that.
I mean, we all know that they're not concentration camps, but I feel like the reason they call them that is to prime people for when the Democrats get back in power and actually make concentration camps. They can be like, well, you guys already did it first, so why is it a problem if we do it now? And everyone will be like, yeah, that's right, there were concentration camps. You love all the celebrities pushing for the plebs to go out and die in some sort of retarded revolution. It's very weird to see these incredibly rich people who don't have to face any of the consequences of what they're telling people to go out and do, to then try and activate people to die for a cause. It's just incredibly, like, disturbing to me. And especially because, like, these celebrities will be cheered instead of condemned for escalating violence. Sarah Mathis, thank you. This isn't new messaging. David Lammy, UK Justice Minister, called Trump Super Mustache Man in his first term. Oh, I know it's not new. It's been around for, like, over a decade. But it's been escalating this whole time.
In, and I know you don't want to participate in something radical. I don't either. I wish I could just go on the road and do my funny stories about celebrities or making fun of politicians, but not even have to acknowledge this. But it is happening all around you. It's happening around you. I live in Los Angeles. It's happening at targeted places in Los Angeles.
I mean, look at how much they screamed when I sent cease and desist. And that's all I did. Anytime you defend yourself, you are de facto in the wrong. Anytime you prove them to be the liars and agents that they are, you are in the wrong. You are the dangerous one. How dare you tell the truth? How dare you attack this poor multi-million-dollar company?
And I think it's time to talk to the neighbors in real life. It's time to talk to your neighbors, find out if they're MAGA or not. Sorry, but we have to know who's on our team and start to plan. Is there a way we can do something as a community?
What do you mean by find out if your neighbors are MAGA, quote unquote, and then find out if you can do something as a community? What would you even do? What would you even do? Are you calling for some, like, Jim Crow era, we need to get these MAGA folks out of our neighborhoods? Are you telling, that's kind of weird. That's kind of strange. You're getting to the property in the mountains, and anyone who gets within a mile of your cabin will better have a valid reason.
When I hear from my followers in Minnesota, they describe a very sophisticated channel of a system of things that they do to help one another. And they use encrypted apps. And like I said, everyone has whistles and honks their horn, but they organize in small groups. And they have told me that they learned this from the George Floyd incident because George Floyd was murdered 20 blocks.
I think it's really dangerous to encourage people to interrogate their neighbors and find out if they're MAGA, quote unquote, and encourage them to follow around those people in their neighborhood who may or may not be MAGA with whistles and other utensils. That's a very dangerous thing to tell people to do. Not because anyone who is MAGA might be dangerous, but if you are psychopathic enough to start stalking someone, hey, that's a crime, brother man. What are you doing? Call me Gestapo. What she's describing is a terrorist cell. You would have expected the Republicans to start a second Red Scare to combat commies, not commies starting a second Red Scare to hunt Republicans. I mean, the hunting of Republicans was kind of always in the cards here. Like, I'm not surprised. You always forget this woman is a comedian. Where are the laughs? The Democrats are going to ride around in white hoods again, aren't they? Call, are you surprised? The side calling everyone Nazis is copying the Nazi playbook. I'm just waiting for them to, like, you know, find a town that is mostly conservative and then start smashing out the windows of the conservative businesses. I'm just like, that's going to happen. There's no way it's not at this point.
Blocks away from these other murders, roughly. And so they said they learned a lot from that experience. So I'm just telling you guys, live your life, but be conscious of this. And if you're silent, you're complicit. Sorry, I know I'm being a judgy bitch, but that's how I feel. Here I am being preachy.
If you're silent, you're complicit. Yeah, go stalk your neighbors. See how that works out. Please don't actually interrogate and stalk your neighbors. That is not good advice. That is advice that could lead to you getting arrested or even worse. Please don't do that. A federal judge in New York has agreed to dismiss federal murder charges against Luigi Mangione. This takes the potential death penalty off the table.
So we got some breaking news now from the federal courthouse in downtown Manhattan. The judge in the Luigi Mangione case has now issued a new ruling with a major impact with regard to the death penalty. Nate Foy live outside the federal courthouse where he is set to appear. Mangione is in about 30 minutes. Nate, what is going on now? The ruling.
Hey, Bill. Good morning. So the judge just put out some written opinions ahead of the 11 a.m. federal hearing where Mangione will appear in two major decisions here. One of them for Mangione's defense and the other one against. The biggest news here is that the judge has agreed with Mangione's defense team to throw out the most serious charge against him of murder through use of a firearm and another firearms weapons charge.
So we literally have him on video using a firearm to kill the CEO. How does that work? How does what even is our legal system anymore? I don't understand. So you can assassinate someone and commit first-degree murder? What is going on in this country? Great fucking question.
This means that the death penalty is now off the table in this federal case in New York State. As far as the state case doesn't do the death penalty. So this means the death penalty is off the table for Luigi Mangione. The other big decision that we are learning from the judge today is the judge denied Mangione's defense team's request to suppress some of the evidence. Now, Mangione's team argued that his constitutional rights were violated when police searched his backpack while arresting him in Pennsylvania. They found that ghost gun that prosecutors allege was the murder weapon that Mangione allegedly used to kill Brian Thompson, the United...
Is that a thing? If they find the guy that is suspected in a murder and they search him, is that really against your rights? Can they really not, like, search you when they detain you? I always thought that they could. I always thought that was like normal. You don't see how it is, sort of. I have no idea. I would need like someone like angry cops to explain it to me, you know? Guess murder is okay as long as you're good looking. This is literally like, well, technically CEOs aren't human, so he didn't actually commit a murder. Like, stop and frisk was outlawed in New York for a while. Oh boy. Breach, thank you for the 11 months, thank you. I think there was something about how the woman cop who searched his backpack turned off her body cam while searching it. Can we just stop hiring women as police officers? Basically, the cops fumbled every single step of the arrest and booking and chain of evidence. They messed up so bad the prosecution has lost evidence. The cops are dumb. Are they dumb? Or are they just New York cops who didn't want this guy to get convicted? Of course they can. If it's reasonable, it falls under the Fourth Amendment. You can imagine, but there's a reason the plea got thrown out. Good fucking Lord.
Healthcare CEO back in December of 2024. Police also found his journal that some have referred to as his manifesto, where you could get an insight into his thinking. Again, his defense team argued that his constitutional rights were violated.
He was arrested in central Pennsylvania. Yeah, that's fair, but still, cops could be complicit. They could have still not wanted to have him actually get charged. He has a manifesto, allegedly. I would like to see it.
Because there wasn't a warrant for that search. The judge denied that request, so that evidence will be allowed at trial. This decision, both of them, will have a big impact on the federal trial, including on the timing. So we knew going into today that the jury selection would happen in September, but this decision on throwing out the murder through use of a firearm charge will impact when the actual trial will start. So if the schedule holds, the federal trial will now start in October. The state case is sort of in limbo right now because the Manhattan DA's office wants the trial first. They want it to start July 1st. Mangione's team hasn't officially responded to that yet, but they have put out a statement where they called that unrealistic and say that they will need more time to prepare for this trial. The hearing today is still going to happen. Mangione will appear again at 11 o'clock, and the judge will lay out the next steps here. But the big news today is that the death penalty is off the table for Luigi Mangione. We'll send it back to you, Bill.
Okay, wow. Okay, Nate, thanks on those developments in Lower Manhattan.
Actually confounding and crazy to me. Bunch of judges need to be removed legally. Yes. Yes. I agree with that. But if the cops fumbled it, then it's not the judges in this case. He's very handsome in each picture, you know? He's thinking, I am a lady killer. I am also a killer. It'll be very interesting to see the trajectory of what Luigi Manicotti does after he gets out of here. I thought it was really funny, all the lingo they used in this article. Doofus steals NYPD uniform from precinct and is found wearing it a day later after passing out in NYCHA building. A daring dingaling snuck into an NYPD precinct, stole a police uniform, and walked out the door unnoticed while wearing it Monday, prosecutors said. Timothy Adams, 37, was found a day later passed out in the nearby Clinton House's NYCHA building, still wearing the purloined police duds, leading a concerned Good Samaritan to call 911 to report an unconscious cop. Officers responded and find the defendant passed out in the NYCHA building that he does not live in, said Megan Versaire, an assistant district attorney for Manhattan. Daring dingalings could be here, chat.
They know about the dangling. I can't stop talking about the dangling. My whole life is the dangling.
He is still wearing the same NYPD uniform. The alleged post-plunder nap led to Adams' arrest and arraignment Wednesday on burglary, larceny, and criminal trespassing charges in Manhattan Criminal Court. Adams, a homeless crook with a mile-long rap sheet that includes 3 felony and 23 misdemeanor convictions, is no stranger to allegedly stealing police property. Then why the fuck is he still on the street? Why does this keep happening? Back to the story here. Homeless crook with a mile-long rap sheet. He was convicted in 2021 of breaking into an NYPD vehicle and stealing an emergency service unit vest, a baton, and live ammunition. The arraignment unfolded with Adams wearing ill-fitting clothes, rambling to his public defender as Versaire detailed the fresh accusations that he brazenly walked into a secure area in the 23rd precinct along East 102nd Street. Video surveillance showed Adams stride past 2 signs reading authorized personnel only and into the administrative office at around 5:40 a.m. Versaire said, and the court documents detail. This isn't even a video, it's just an image. How Adams was able to walk into the precinct remained unclear Thursday. They usually have a station house security, a police source said. You're supposed to be greeted by someone when you walk in. Once inside the office, Adams took a uniform, flex cuffs, keys, police documents, and other items. He is caught on video entering the 23rd precinct, walking past the authorized access gate, and subsequently exiting the precinct while wearing a uniform and holding a blue bag. The heist was ultimately foiled Wednesday at about 8:30 p.m. when the 911 caller reported finding Adams unconscious inside the NYCHA building at Lexington Avenue and 108th Street, about 6 blocks from the precinct. Adams, once roused, allegedly told arresting cops, "I took everything from the 23rd precinct." He just admits to it. I mean, why wouldn't you if you keep getting released anyway? The hearing pulled double duty as an arraignment for a separate larceny case in which Adams allegedly stole $2.45 from a tip jar inside a business along Madison Avenue on January 6th. Versaire said Adams, who had pleaded guilty to attempted burglary and attempted robbery in several open court cases, committed the NYPD theft while awaiting sentencing in another case. His criminal record stretches back to February 2002, when he was arrested for criminal mischief and making graffiti. Judge Jeffrey Gershony set Adams' bail at $10,000 cash and ordered a psychiatric evaluation. Adams' next court date is January 26th. I really hate the psychiatric stuff, because, I mean, if you are too crazy to be allowed into society, why do we keep you around is my question. Streamer and rapper Aspen Kartier arrested on animal cruelty charges. Jesus fuck. Chicago-born rapper and streamer Aspen Kartier has reportedly been arrested on charges of animal cruelty in Georgia. According to Atlanta news outlet WSB-TV, the 19-year-old, real name Aspen Easterling, no wonder she went with Kartier, was booked on Friday, January 30th, after a video circulating on social media appeared to show her abusing a Maltipoo puppy. Easterling was identified as a suspect, and after her Town Boulevard address was confirmed from the video, officers obtained a search warrant and arrested the drill rapper at her home. The fuck is a drill rapper? The 3-month-old puppy was also found at the home and appeared to be in good health. 3 months old? This bitch beat a 3-month-old puppy? What the fuck? The dog has since been taken in by the DeKalb County Animal for Control, DeKalb County Animal for Control for Protection. Do they mean just Animal Control for Protection? While Easterling is currently in the DeKalb County Jail. The Twitch streamer has over 71,000 followers in the damn, she bigger than me. Although her page has since been temporarily taken down, as TMZ details. The video showed Kartier grab and toss her dog by the nape of its neck, which can cause severe pain and injuries. In a follow-up clip, Kartier denied hurting her dog and claimed that he was over-exaggerating. The dog was over-exaggerating? Tell them that you're fine. Tell them right now. Kartier told her dog, who was whimpering in the clip below. Bro, it's a dog. You can't... What do you mean, tell them you're fine? Yeah, the dog exaggerated. What the fuck? Aspen Kartier responds to allegations of her beating her dog on stream. Why you beat? The fuck? I don't know what this is. I don't know what that is. Is that the tell them you're fine? The news comes after the streamer's Twitch channel was listed as temporarily unavailable after PETA spoke out. When reached for comment by Complex, a PETA spokesperson said that Twitch was right to take action on Kartier's account, though the extent of the action remains unclear for now. People are rightly horrified by the video in which Aspen Kartier raises her arm several times and appears to strike her dog as he wails, before moving off camera while the sounds of the dog's distress continue, a PETA rep told Complex. Anyone who would beat and terrify their dog should never go near one. Twitch was right to suspend the account, and now we urge authorities to immediately investigate, prosecute if appropriate, and hopefully seize this dog so that nothing like this ever happens again and the dog gets a chance at a loving home. Yeah, hopefully she's not allowed to fucking own a dog again, because what the fuck? How do you fuck up badly enough for PETA to get a W? Yeah, imagine fucking up badly that people actually agree with PETA on something. You agree, but PETA has no room to talk with their KDA. Very, very ultimately rare PETA W, unironically. You don't trust PETA at all? They run kill animal shelters that kill pets at a rate 800 times higher than the other ones? Yeah, just because they're an evil organization doesn't mean that they can't be right every once in a while. Even a broken clock, right? We have an Asmongold clippy with a LeafLit appearance. LeafLit said in one of her videos that she would pay for plane tickets to send Ilhan Omar, a US citizen, back home. This is just LeafLit's way of saying go back to Africa, which is still incredibly racist. Except Ilhan Omar committed immigration fraud, so she's not here legally. Which means she should get sent back. She should go back to Somalia. She should be deported.
People get mad and they talk shit about this, but at the end of the day, I'm glad that more people are starting to speak up against it. Yeah. And I'm glad that, I'm going to be honest, I'm glad that more creators are getting hate on social media for not supporting ICE and for making virtue statements against ICE. I think that content creators need to deserve, I think they deserve, and I think they need a lot more hate, and they need a lot more pushback for being able to virtue signal about how bad ICE is. I do. I'm really glad to see more people speaking up against it. And
it's crazy that the people with the fuck ICE narrative believe that their point of view is the one held by the majority, and they try to bully people into compliance when it's like, no, the majority of people do not think that ICE is a bad thing. The majority of people, in fact, voted Trump into the White House with immigration as one of the biggest issues. And just because you support the majority of what ICE is doing doesn't mean that you can't see individual instances and be like, hey, maybe that agent was possibly in the wrong. Maybe something got fucked up here. Just because you support the majority of what's happening doesn't mean you support 100% of it, you know? Anti-ICE agitators burned Minneapolis during the Summer of Love? Absolutely. You don't care that Ilhan Omar is from Africa? If she was Asia, send her back to Asia. If she was from Europe, send her back to Europe. If she was from the moon, send her back to the moon. True and real. I do not give a shit where Ilhan Omar is from. Send her back to wherever that is.
You know, taking a stand for these weirdos, right? Especially streamers. I want to see it happen a lot more.
Allie.
Well, people get mad and they...
And it's wild once again, and I hope we'll start seeing it because the amount of people that were able to get away with celebrating assassinations or wishing that an assassination had succeeded was crazy to watch, to be completely fair. To the moon! Yeah, surely Ilhan Omar going back home could make Somalia great again, right? If she is such an asset, surely she could make Somalia great. We had TMZ crying about Don Lemon being arrested. Don is an actual journalist, though. These fucking people. These fucking people. The law doesn't make one journalist more equal than others. That's something out of Animal Farm. That's the point with those people.
So the Trump administration wonders why people are saying that they are trying to form a dictatorship. Well, look at the landscape. Arresting Don Lemon, who covered a protest in Minneapolis, is just insane, ridiculous, dictator-like. This is the playbook that dictators use to destroy democracies and take the will of the people away. It is as simple as that.
I guess I'm just incredibly tired of the lying and the gaslighting. Because it's like, these are the authoritarians who just want us dead and want to oppress us into oblivion. And yet they keep trying to lie and use some form of, like, violent empathy in order to get us to feel bad enough to not defend ourselves. And it's like, I'm just fucking tired of it. I'm tired of people lying, being able to strong-arm anything that they want, no matter how violent it is, and the rest of us who try to point out what's actually happening in reality, getting the flack for it. It just seems absolutely insane how the people who are lying and who are actually violent and who just want to kill you are the ones who can convince people that they are the ones in the right. Like, what the actual fuck? Don Lemon recorded himself going, okay, I'm conspiring to commit a crime, now I'm committing a crime, now I'm refusing to leave after being told to leave, right?
The First Amendment is the First Amendment for a reason. It is considered the preferred amendment when you have to start balancing what's more important. The framers of the Constitution knew that a free press was essential to a democracy. Without a free press, you don't have a democracy.
I wish we had a free press, but unfortunately we have a propagandistic class trying to control us plebs. Phoenix DS, thank you. They saying the journalists who participate in riots are innocent of consequences? Retarded.
And it's real clear that Donald Trump and company doesn't want a free press. The idea that a journalist, which Don Lemon has been for 30 years, would walk into a church and film a demonstration which is of national interest, and then to say somehow, when you watch the video, they say he's part of the protest. Watch that video. He is covering...
No, he's definitely a part of it. And he's also the one that said trauma is the point. And it, again, echoes Jay Jones getting elected as a Virginia AG, saying that people aren't going to change their opinions unless you make them feel something bad. According to these fuckwads, they don't have 1A protections because press would be quill and parchment, not video, you know, since they believe that for the 2A. The amount of people who hate the Second Amendment but want you to use your principles to defend them being violent psychopaths is also very frustrating. Phil Thomas, thank you. Okay, now do the Second Amendment. Autism Alligator, thank you. They forget freedom of religion is also the first. Imagine if they had to live by their own principles, they would not be able to. That's why when you try to use their own tactics against them, they get incredibly fucking angry.
The protest, he is covering it. That's what journalists do. I covered riots. I was a local reporter in Los Angeles for 15 years, and I covered riots and floods and earthquakes and all sorts of things where I had to step into areas where there were police, where there was activity, private property. When you're covering an event like this, like a protest, which I've covered many, you step into it. And that's what journalists do. And that's what Don Lemon did. The idea that the Justice Department is saying he walked onto private property, that is insane. A church invites everybody in. Have you
Let me tell you about your religion I have nothing but contempt for, by the way.
Ever seen a church with a no trespassing sign saying no journalists allowed? Have you ever seen any house of worship that says that? It is insane, insane that they're making this stupid argument, transparent. And yet, a grand jury indicted Don Lemon after a magistrate said there is insufficient evidence. Well, a grand jury will indict anybody because Don Lemon doesn't appear before the grand jury. Abby Lowell, his lawyer, doesn't appear before the grand jury. The Justice Department says what the Justice Department wants the grand jury to believe, and almost every time they believe it. It's all the way it's
once again insane that they want you to ignore the fact that Don Lemon turned off his camera to not implicate some of the strategies these people were doing. Don Lemon was participating in planning of the going into the church. Don Lemon even said the trauma is the point. He was not merely being a journalist, he was participating in this and relishing in his participation.
This is a ridiculous assault, and I don't want to say just on the First Amendment. It's a ridiculous assault on democracy. Trump administration should be ashamed of itself, but they're not. And they will continue to do this. And they are going after journalists. They're getting search warrants for their homes.
How many journalists at January 6th caught some charges? How many there?
It is obvious what's happening in this country, people. Look at what is happening.
I love how the malicious liars say that, because now whenever you try to point out the reality of the facts, people will just repeat what this fucking weird guy said instead of actually looking at anything for themselves. It's the same as the people who are like, obviously that ICE agent wasn't hit by Renee Good. Like, we all have eyes. We can see the video. He never got hit by the vehicle, even though you can see him getting hit from like 3 different fucking video angles.
You're going to look back in 2 years if somebody doesn't stand up to them, and I know people are now, but you're going to look back in 2 years and say, wow, we didn't see that coming. Well, Neville Chamberlain should have saw it coming, and he didn't. And we don't want to be in that position. So wise up, everybody, because it's obvious what's happening here. This is an outrage.
Wise up! You must defend our right to kill you! And James O'Keefe is the one who quote retweeted this, saying, the FBI raided my newsroom and you said nothing. And then this guy saying, once again, Don is an actual journalist, though. It's like, it doesn't matter to them. It doesn't matter. Their side right, your side wrong. If you defend yourself, you're even more wrong. You're just a Nazi who should roll over and die. How dare you defend yourself? So, in the middle of my stream yesterday, Advanced GG actually ended up dropping Straub and Rev. And they locked their replies, because of course they did. 4.2 million views, only 4.1k likes, and probably a metric fuckton of quote retweets. I've thought about it, and I'm not going to make a full video. There's enough information out there already. While I'm disappointed at how this ended, I'm ready to move on. I think that is not the right move. I think that's not the right move, but that's just me. That's just me. I wonder why he would renege on making the video. Wonder if he's considering legal action? That's true. If he's considering legal action, it would make sense to not make the video. That would make sense. Advanced GG and Crime Boss shaking hands, screwing the pooch for basically no reason. Yeah. Yeah. Could be they're just not saying anything because court. Yeah, if they're doing legal action, that makes perfect fucking sense. But Rev saying he's not gonna make a video, but we have a bunch of tweets. He said, hey, Advanced GG, why is one of the current faces of your company, Vex Milk, currently scrubbing her account of tweets, harassing me and my wife? And I think this is the comeuppance that needs to happen, right? If these people are going to try and throw weight and get someone removed for literally no reason other than they dislike the person, then the people who are actually paying for the products should do the same in turn. If these people are going to be actually doing harassment, they're going to actually be, like, saying horrific things, then they need to feel the exact same thing that they did to others. I will block you if you defend Rev or Straub, you absolute fucking bootlicking weirdos. Fuck ICE and absolutely fuck you. I'm muting this now because I'm not putting up with you weirdos defending someone who wouldn't spit on you if you were on fire. I can enjoy who I work for and not like who I work with. Yes, that would include Rev having kept his sponsorship instead of you freaks campaigning to get it taken away.
What the hell is this
You can enjoy working
raid?
for Advance and just ignore Rev's existence. Demanding something be done and then not allowing the time for it to, you know, get done is insane to me. Fuck ICE, fuck Rev, and fuck you if you defend either one. Get back on your knees where you belong and keep licking, and maybe they'll praise you eventually because God knows your parents did it. Since she's decided to reply in my comments and block me before I could reply, he posted that here. I don't know where her reply is, but it's like, damn, that's crazy. And someone here saying, I'm also not biased, I hate white people, and I am white, Lamau, nice try though. This other guy said, you're aware of racism towards your own race existing, right, dumbass? And they said, you can't be racist against white people. Imagine that. I'm so shocked that another racist is claiming you can't be racist against white people. If Advanced GG is honest about not tolerating any hateful conduct, saying you cannot be racist to white people is inherently racist in and of itself. This is someone who should not be keeping their partnership if they are proudly displaying how racist they are. And this person said, yes, you can, dumb bitch. And then they said, dumb bitch is 2 words. Be literate before you speak to me. I don't really care. I don't really care. Such a retarded claim, god damn it, yeah. Yeah. Very, very hateful person, unfortunately so. And Savvy here, Savvy had a bunch of tweets. This guy, Max Ekpunyobi. Advance does not support extremism or hate. We have zero tolerance for harassment, threats, doxing, or content that marginalizes any community, unless there's someone we like. And Max asked, can you at least address my argument instead of appealing to ad hominem? Nothing will advance if we keep insulting each other. And this milk person said, no, I don't debate with people who don't believe in basic healthcare and human rights. God doesn't love you. Hey, Advanced, I don't think this guy needs to be partnered with you. He has some very hateful views that disrespect a ton of your consumers. You're stupid, hope this helps. This person is actually being what Advance says that they are against. Like, Rev and Lala didn't launch insults back and forth at each other. Neither of them said God doesn't love you. Neither of them said that they're racist. Whereas this person has come out and said that. Not an atheist telling me that God hates me. Like, literally a professional brigader. This is the kind of person that Advanced should be dropping. Being overtly racist, actually crazy. And then Savvy retweeting it saying, I guess this is the part now where we put their rules up to the test and see if Advanced GG will evenly enforce rules across the board. Malicious compliance is my favorite. If a group or someone wishes to hold others to a particular standard, you do your best to hold them to the standard they set for others. I don't know why the left gets so angry when you do that, because you're not supposed to defend yourself. You're supposed to just allow yourself to be deplatformed, to be shut up, and to be murdered, essentially. I don't know why the left gets so angry when you do that. I thought they'd appreciate respecting another's belief. You know, because they're just so loving and tolerant. I'd like, and she linked Alex, the head of operations at Advanced GG, to clearly define where the line in the sand is so future creators and customers can know exactly where you stand. These vague type of posts do nothing for anyone. It's weird that Advanced GG is now asking creators to delete comments. Why not delete the racist who is being extremely hateful? Clearly this creature doesn't care. Did you delete that? I can't find it. It was the fuck ice and absolutely fuck you. And Vex said, at the request of a few of my sponsors, yes, I did. Fun fact, if your sponsors ask you to delete something, you're not supposed to say that. You're not supposed to say that. They asked me to and I obliged. I meant it, but yes, I deleted it. Lamau. Still not harassment to just post a general fuck you. By your logic, it would be, yes, because the general fuck you is worse than anything Rev said to Lala. So what do you mean by this? You fucking love Savvy? She's such a savage, true? People were looking into her replies for all the vile shit she said. They shouldn't even need to look further than the I hate white people and no, you can't be racist to white people. That should be enough. If somebody said, I hate black people, you can't be racist to black people, that would be incredible. Like, everyone would cut ties with that person. So why is it okay to then say that racist shit to white people? It shouldn't be. So this person should absolutely, instead of being asked to delete their post, they should be dropped. Get ready for this to be taken out of context. I mean, more than anything, I would expect the people who hate me to be like, oh my god, look at this hypocritical bitch. She wants this person to lose their sponsorship when all of this time she's been claiming to be against that kind of thing. Yeah, when you make someone lose their sponsorship for no fucking reason, you open yourself to also losing your sponsors. Congratulations, you reap what you sow, you fucking freaks. Why would I defend you when you are the ones brigading to harm people? What kind of defense could I possibly mount for that? I'm not gonna commit suicide to defend people trying to destroy myself and others. That's insane. Dermy Wormy explaining something else here. The saddest part, Vex has been fighting cancer on and off. During the burnt peanut drama, people started fucking with her treatment money, and several people came to defend her. They even sent extremely vile emails to her. Seeing her rejoice that someone else went through what she went through is really depressing. And I can agree with that. Well, I can also agree with Savvy saying, seeing this person has a lengthy history of being a piece of shit. I call it to question anything they claim and the honesty to it. It's like, yeah, if someone is being this much of a piece of shit, I'm gonna question everything they're saying. If she had been fighting cancer and if she had been fucked with and people defended her, that makes it even worse so that she would try and brigade people like this and put them through something that she had to deal with. Like, what kind of a fucking freak do you have to be to do that shit? Vex has always been an asshole, not sure if the cancer claim was real. Vex claims to be, fix that for you. I had asked for a link to donate to her cancer treatment. She only accepts directly gifted money. No GoFundMe, no charity site that'd hold her to account for the use of said money. I smell fraud. I didn't realize she was a total piece of shit at the time. Huh. That's interesting. I have no idea. It sounds scammy. I am always really, really suspicious of, like, people asking for donations without, like, showing proof of, like, needing something, which is why, like, when people were asking me to put up the dono bar for, like, Ziggy's medical stuff, I don't want to do that until I have, like, the actual final medical bill price in front of me. Some other guy was claiming that she takes, like, 3 trips a year to Disney. What the fuck? I saw someone else dogging on her for, like, claiming that she has all of these expenses and she needs money for stuff, but then, like, going to the movies, and everyone's like, oh my god, going to the movies isn't that expensive, and it's like, well, yeah, sure, it's not, but if you're asking for money for other expenses that are critical to living, why would you then go to a movie, right? It's like when VTubers ask for rent money because they can't afford rent that month, and then they, like, talk about having bought a model, like, the next week. Like, oh, it won't be out for like 6 months, but new model soon, TM. This is on Rev. Very hateful piece of shit. This is the you can't be racist against white people. Interesting Nazi apologist previously says to curb stomp Nazis. Wonder who this person views as Nazis. And Vex saying, I want to make this perfectly clear for those of you who seem to have an issue with jumping to conclusions when something is vague. If I have something to say about someone in particular, I will say it to that person directly. I'm not going to post about it publicly unless it is cut off. And then this guy said, are you defending Nazis, bro? And then Vex said, how the actual fuck do you take this as me defending Nazis? First of all, you're fucking dumb. Second, absolutely the fuck not. Curb stomp your local Nazi, unapologetically and without fucking mercy. And then she follows up with saying, where's the proof of this exactly? Show me exactly where she lied. If it's who I'm thinking about, Nyara didn't lie about shit. You're just fucking a Nazi apologist, Lamau. I wonder if this has anything to do with me, since they talked about me all the time. And yeah, that would be very interesting if they were talking about me and calling someone a Nazi apologist for talking about me while also saying, curb stomp your local Nazi. That would, wow, I haven't seen that one before. I haven't seen being called a Nazi as a way to just tag someone acceptable for violence. Wow, they sure do support a lot of problematic people. Yeah, that's kind of fucking crazy. That's interesting. I wonder who they view as Nazis indeed. They call you a Nazi so they can justify beating you to death. Why else would any of them use the phrasing Nazi? Why is this person still with Advanced GG? I thought they were against harassment. I thought they were against any kind of, bad jujus here. What is this? And then this person grave dancing on it. We won. They're paraphrasing and making fun of a tweet that Rev did ages ago. Said, we won, a reminder that you're not garbage, a bigot, a communist, or whatever these freaks threw at you. You love your country and want what's best for everyone, to be proud of that. You guys kicked up a stink and got people erroneously dropped from a financial supporter because you didn't like the fact that they were against fuck ICE. And Straub didn't even say anything here. To be fair, it was Rev and Lala that had a conversation. And it was a public conversation. They weren't insulting, and they even quoted the Bible at each other. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Actually insane. That person's a part of Rima's community? That's weird. That's weird. Savvy is cool. Miss seeing her on the Geeks and Gamers stream. I haven't been able to make Fridays. I'd like to do a Tuesday sometime again with them. They're fucking fun. Azehara with the fucking giant wall of text. Azehara saying, while I was looking at the quote retweets of the Lala post, which was the cause of the entire Advanced GG shit show, I came across someone who always seems to pop up during any drama situation, only to have the worst fucking responses and the worst fucking takes. Good guy Sylvie, the guy that tried to get a handicapped woman kicked out of her healthcare facility because she spoke out against another content creator, Marina VT, who had a Discord meant to be with 18 plus people with underage users in it, and who had tried to prop themselves as the face of the LGBTQ VTubing while treating the members of that same group like shit. Also, the same one that tried to stream with their nude model on Twitch because they can't read the fucking rules, and ended up fucking over artists because Twitch reversed the rule, which was meant for artists to not get banned if they drew the figure of a character. The same person who has harassed multiple other content creators, and has a rep sheet of almost 10 years on the internet of being a piece of shit person. So what is this beacon of justice and wisdom trying to claim? Simple, that Rev's audience was in Lala's replies attacking Lala for her tweet. He then proceeds to link a bunch of people who replied negatively to Lala, including people calling her a pedophile. Sylvie, I know you are not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but if you're going to claim that Rev's audience is in her replies giving her hate, why the fuck are you posting people that don't follow Rev and think that VTubers are pedophiles? That's a good fucking question. You know, the same type of people that would hate Rev because he says he likes lollies and whose avatar could be considered a lolly. You also show his quote tweet with the red highlight on the timestamp, and then proceed to show posts that were all made before that time. Reminder that the entire claim made by you retards is that Rev harassed Lala, which caused her to lock the replies, yet it shows that she was already getting shit from people that are not even in Rev's community for making an anti-ICE post. Shocking, I know. Someone making a political post and getting shit from people that are not even in that general audience. And this is a big thing, and this is pretty much what I said when this first happened. When you lock replies, everybody is going to make fun of you for it. That's just what political Twitter is like. Locking replies is like, I have an opinion, but I can't defend it. And it was 14 minutes between Rev making his quote retweet and her locking the replies. And this is also what these people do. They will post the evidence of them lying. They will post things like, as Ihara said, showing that the timestamps don't match up. But then they will claim that these are people in Rev's community. They will claim that they were sent from Rev, and all of the little retards will still believe it, despite the evidence being in front of them that it's not true. This is how they continuously get away with lying, and how people will say, but there was proof, but it happened on the stream, but we saw the video. It's like, no, you didn't. You read the text from a disingenuous liar, and you didn't actually look into it yourself. P.S. Stop trying to bitch and moan that Rev is now trying to get a poor creator cancelled who had cancer, when she was one of the main agitators brigading that same sponsor. Oh, that makes sense why Ozzy said that this person would probably clip me saying that too. Ain't no way. Funny enough, she happens to have a laundry list of inflammatory posts, which she seems to be deleting now because she knows people are looking at all the shit she has said. Stop trying to appeal to emotion by adding the cancer part, as if anyone knows and is deliberately trying to kick the poor woman while she's down. I wouldn't have known if Dermy Wormy hadn't made that fucking post. I wouldn't have known. These people are so retarded that they can't even rotate an apple in their hands and believing it's turning, let alone in their heads. True. I'll say, Hara, I've been writing Bibles. Fucking smut Bibles. He continues, I find it hilarious that you are mad that your tweets don't get traction and blaming the platform for it. Maybe it's not that you're getting suppressed, and it's the fact that your opinions and takes are so dog shit. You have to log on to your alt accounts to like them in the hopes that they somehow get more reach. Also, stop speculating about Rev's sex life on stream. That shit is extremely creepy. That's fucking weird. What is this? Fuck ICE turns off comments like a fucking liberal. I've been covering ICE from a legal and moral perspective at least weekly on stream this last year. Honestly, this is fantastic. 10 out of 10. 2-word summary of those stream segments. We got Rev's audience in the replies demonstrating how people like him are genuinely more damaging to the VTuber scene because he will attack people who dare to stand against what is morally wrong. Bro, she can say fuck ICE and anyone can say what they want in response to that. That's kind of what like public conversations are. Oh my god, this man also essaying. So underneath this, he says, he also doesn't seem to realize that ICE didn't exist prior to 2003. People born in 2003 are like over 18 now. What did he mean by this? What did he mean? Like, that's a long ass time ago. Like, he probably knows, but he doesn't care. He's catering to his far-right audience and bots on Twitter for engagement at the expense of creators who actually do make a positive impact on the whole community. Why would you care about the whole community? Like, aside from the whole, maybe don't show your face because you're a VTuber, like, whatever I do has no bearing on, like, anyone else. You see, people like Rev claim to care for VTubing or care for the VTuber scene whenever they complain about tourists, problematic creators they cherry pick, or when VTubers aren't emotionless machines like himself. But in reality, they never gave a fuck. What is he even talking about? If Rev was told he would earn an additional $1,000 in engagement by attacking other VTubers in the scene that are making a positive impact for the whole community in general, he'll do it without a second thought and eagerly wait for the paycheck to arrive. That's a lot of fucking projection, brother, man. That's a lot of fucking projection. He's no better than people like Nux Taku, Tectone, or anyone else who use their platform to sacrifice their own humanity in favor of earning a quick buck. What did Nux do? Rev, however, will be a relic of the past. Momentum is swinging left, and you either adapt as a grifter or you die. What a wild thing to say. What is this? Likes Sylvie's spice rack? Oh, it's Sylvie's personal. He does like his own shit with alt accounts. That's funny. That's funny. What is this other thing you have boxed out over here? Honestly think he likes getting degraded out of how much he goes after it. They probably read it over call as foreplay. Oh, that's fucking weird. That's that's weird. This fucking loser. And dude, that's too much work. Even you would run out of content but give up because the gift that keeps on giving never even slows down. Imagine. Notice how it's always the same people popping up when this shit happens? Imagine. Imagine. Insurrectionists admit to everything. They want their people to die to create propaganda. In this document distributed on Signal, Minnesota activists lay out that their goal is to impede ICE and create flashpoints. They describe flashpoints as moments of chaos where they can de-arrest, save illegal immigrants, or possibly resulting in the murder of a comrade. They make expressly clear that they want flashpoints to occur. This message is specifically designed to be distributed to their dispatcher. It says, dispatch, please advise tactics for fighting the federal occupation of Minnesota by ICE. A collective statement from Red-Winged Blackbird. 1. ICE Watch. What does it mean to watch ICE? A wide range of people around Minnesota have engaged in the practice of following and monitoring ICE activity. This can be done on foot or in a car. Sometimes this also means showing up immediately to the scene where an abduction is taking place, which is called rapid response. Why follow ICE? Our goals when following ICE are to 1. Throw ICE off their course, waste their time, and force them to drive away. 2. Alert at-risk people to ICE presence. 3. Make the whole neighborhood aware of ICE presence to get them outside and resisting. 4. Escalate at ICE abductions and create potential flashpoints. Yeah, that's very dangerous. That's very dangerous, and outwardly admitting that you're encouraging people to put themselves in harm's way and that the harm is your goal. That's crazy. What are best practices for observing ICE? 1. Don't go out alone. This creates relative safety in numbers and allows you to split up roles between people. 2. Make sure someone knows what you're doing. Make a jail support plan. Check in with yourself and your buddy to make sure you're prepared for what risks you are willing to take. And make sure that you have everything you need with you, including first aid and personal protective equipment in the event of ICE's weapons being used against you. 3. Start in a small area that you know well. You can then respond to ICE quickly when they enter your patrol radius. You can respond to ICE when they enter your patrol radius. What kind of role reversal is this? 3. Start in a small area that you know well. You can then respond to ICE quickly when they enter your patrol radius. 4. Join or start a call on your neighborhood Signal chat, or stay up to date with local rapid response networks. Crowdsourcing information about ICE will make you more effective at tracking their movements and will increase the likelihood that many people will quickly respond to attempted abductions. Be collaborative, but remember that the dispatchers and other members of these chats are not there to make decisions for you. Be in touch with your own risk assessment and make decisions you feel are most strategic for you. What are tips for thinking strategically during a potential flashpoint? 1. Assess the situation. How many ops are present? They even put ops in their official documentation for opponents. This includes the overall number of cops, federal agents, and fascists. Fascists, by the way. What kinds of equipment do they have? Vehicles, weapons, tear gas canisters, riot gear, etc. How many quote-unquote friends are present? This includes the overall number of people you think are willing to assist with the task at hand. What sorts of equipment do you have? How many quote-unquote neutrals are present? This includes general witnesses, people who are there but who seem unwilling to be involved, people from the media with cameras and microphones, passerby, those who live in the area, and others. Where are your easiest exit points? 2. Determine the goal. Is the goal to stop an abduction? To de-arrest someone or multiple individuals? Create a blockade to prevent ops from coming or going. Push back on the creation of a boundary or something else. Consider what it will take to accomplish the chosen goal, and whether the rest of your present AG is on board with said goal. Is it achievable based on who is present? Yeah, so AG, I'm used to meaning Attorney General, and it wouldn't surprise me if they were asking if the Attorney General is on board with their, definitely illegal tactics, which again is interesting, how they are participating in illegal actions while simultaneously calling the ICE actions illegal, of which they are not. It's always projection. Number 3, accept or reject the task at hand in the moment. You might sometimes move first and ask questions later. But it's important to communicate with each member of your AG, I guess maybe AG is activist group by that definition, before you make a decision that impacts everyone. Whenever possible, try to determine your next steps collectively, comrade. Number 4, no action without reflection. After the fact, discuss and review. Did you accomplish your goal? If so, which factors were working in your favor? If not, what could have helped? Additionally, what harm was done? Does anyone need medical attention, jail support, or any other type of aftercare? As always, you may die, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. True. Fucking weird. Flashpoints. What is a flashpoint? Flashpoints are specific times and places where a crisis quickly and dramatically escalates. When we say flashpoint, we mean any time and place where masses of people are directly confronting the armed forces of the state. There are several places across the Twin Cities metro that already have or could in the future escalate into larger, more sustained confrontations. Another murder, a prolonged and escalating abduction attempt, fascist civilians escalating violently. You mean you guys? You mean what you guys are doing? You being the fascist civilians escalating violently? Or mass protests that spill out into an escalated confrontation with the state are all potentially situations that could lead to flashpoints. These possibilities are dangerous, but they are also sites at which we can escalate our resistance and inspire people into taking more militant, organized action. We need to be prepared for these moments. We need to keep each other safe, and we need to be able to escalate when it is strategic. I have a massive fucking question. How is it that January 6th is literally the worst thing that's ever happened to us when a bunch of people wandered around through the Capitol after being let in by police officers? The people who actually destroyed property there, yeah, sure, hold them accountable, but like the rest of that, how is that the worst thing that's ever happened? But these people are unironically calling for more militant, organized action, and this is just fine. This is just fine to do. Like, people will just post this shit on Twitter and be like, yeah, I'm the normal human with the majority opinion, and the rest of you guys are fucking Nazis. Like, what are we doing here? You're a fascist, says the side that actively uses tactics circulated by fascist regimes to uproot governments. It's all so tiresome, man. We think there are a few places we should be prioritizing to best achieve these goals. 1, hotels where ICE agents are staying. They are at their most vulnerable at these hotels, and a strong campaign could reduce their ability to stay functional. So far, most hotel actions have been noise demos. Potential next steps could include daily and nightly pickets, occupying lobbies, and blockading cars in or out. This has worked at several junctures during our occupation, wherein ICE have moved to hotels farther out of the city after being disturbed by noise demos. I've seen the video. It's not just noise demos. You're breaking signs, you're breaking windows. Some of the, like, prison guards who went to help got attacked. What are we doing here? If they didn't have double standards, they wouldn't have any standards at all. It's just incredibly frustrating for me to constantly have these people think that they are the good guys. And when you point out what's actually happening in reality, or you defend yourself from their violence, you are the bad guy. And you have to be the one defending yourself from their lies. There's zero repercussions for any of these people doing any of this violent shit. And it's incredibly exhausting. Daily and nightly, these people have no lives, actually. Yeah, it makes me incredibly mad, but I'm not allowed to show that kind of anger, because if I do, suddenly I'm a bad person. Pressure campaigns have also forced some hotels to cancel ICE's reservations or shut down temporarily. Number 2, the Whipple Federal Building, which is the current headquarters for ICE operations. It is an unideal location for direct action because of its sprawling nature, inaccessibility, and proximity to the airport, National Guard bases, and the Mississippi River. Protesters there can easily get boxed in or kettled. Still, Whipple is the primary place from which ICE agents go out into the streets, and it's where they bring detainees to be processed. If we can create an effective disruption, which would likely require thousands of participants, the potential impact on ICE's ability to operate is very high. I am glad that, like, Cam and some other people have infiltrated these signal groups, because, like, finding out this kind of information is just fucking wild. That's just a quick clip. I'm not exactly sure what the full interview is like, but she's wearing a gamer headset.
Every person, every human being has the legal right to come to the United States and seek asylum or shelter.
That's an interesting thing to say. That's an interesting thing to say. I don't think there's a legal right to access to the United States. I don't think that's a thing. I think that's a very weird framing. Yeah, everyone has the capability to try and come here if they want to. But it's not a right to have access to the US. A jury has awarded Fox Varian a total of $2 million after it found her psychologist and surgeon liable for medical malpractice related to a mastectomy at age 16. And someone said breaking, a detransitioned woman who received a gender-affirming double mastectomy at the age of 16 received a $2 million medical malpractice judgment from a jury in New York State. And I was like, damn, that's fucking huge if true. So obviously I went looking for an article, and obviously most places aren't reporting on this, but we have the Daily Wire. Detransitioner awarded millions in first malpractice verdict. This is how it all ends. And I certainly fucking hope so. A psychologist and a surgeon were found liable for the mutilation of a trans minor. On Friday, a young woman who had had her healthy breast removed at age 16 for supposed transgender medical care was awarded $2 million, marking it the first successful detransitioner malpractice lawsuit in the nation. Fox Varian psychologist and surgeon were held liable by a jury in Westchester, New York, according to an independent reporter, Benjamin Ryan, who attended the 3-week trial. I didn't even know this trial was going on. That's fucking crazy to me, bro. That is actually fucking crazy. And I hope this is the dam breaking. I hope that more people who have been butchered and led on this path by their doctors doing nothing but affirmation instead of questioning, right? You should question and then see what kind of treatment plans are available. But we had these lawsuits going on in the UK, and the people in the UK saying, I was fast-tracked on hormones, I was fast-tracked to surgeries, and I'm glad we're seeing these lawsuits happen in the US now. And hopefully, a lot of doctors will feel massive repercussions from doing this. You want to see massive piles of lawsuits? I want to see massive piles of lawsuits, man. Fox Varian psychologist and surgeon were held liable by a jury. I read that sentence. Ryan suggested the case is just the beginning of detransitioner lawsuits he's been following, and that ultimately these sorts of results could discourage doctors from advising or performing these types of life-altering surgeries on minors. My sources suggest that tort law might permanently destroy this field. And this is the Benjamin Ryan guy. Says, breaking first detransitioner to take a medical malpractice lawsuit to trial wins $2 million judgment. Fox Varian sued her Westchester, New York area psychologist and plastic surgeon for the gender transition mastectomy she got at 16. I was the only reporter to attend the entire 3-week historic trial. That's really fucking sad. And no wonder it's hard to find this on any website being reported. This is a historic trial. There should have been more reporters there. And it's an indictment of journalistic integrity that he was the only one there for the entire time. Subscribe to my Substack to receive an alert about the feature article I have coming out next week. I'll cover pediatric medicine. Sorry to just give a teaser, but for now, I wanted to get the word out about the verdict promptly. All right, okay. Stacey Robinson, who was also in the courtroom, reported that Varian wept and hugged her mother when the verdict, which followed a 3-week trial from a suit filed in 2023, came down. The verdict triggered much reaction online, including from activists and fellow detransitioners. In coming years, the floodgates will open and more go to trial. Robbie Starbuck, hey, I know that guy, director of the War on Children, commented, what was done to these kids is a crime against humanity, an unforgivable evil that must be extinguished from the earth. Never again. The damage these kids carry is heartbreaking. Very much. Prisha Mosley, a detransitioner who is suing the medical professionals who encouraged and performed trans surgeries on her as a confused minor, reacted. First detransitioner lawsuit to go to trial wins $2 million. May justice prevail. I wonder how the trans activist discourse is gonna go from like just bullying detransitioners to saying that they were like money grubbing grifters who did this purposefully for money. I just expect that to happen from the activists, you know? Very significant US case. There are more in the pipeline. They are likely to fundamentally change the US medical profession's approach to surgically altering the healthy bodies of children questioning their gender. Columnist Sonia Soda said, it's been a long time coming. Conservative Stephen Miller aptly commented, this is how this all ends. Is that like the Stephen Miller, like the government guy that stepped down? Actually insane that this is happening now, but I'm glad it's happening, and hopefully more of these malpractice cases are filed.